Picture this. You're thinking about putting your home on the market. You walk down into your basement one day and you find a river of blood. What would you do? Let's talk about it. This is the Halloween edition of Monday Mornings with Mark. Hi, I'm your host, Mark J. Schmidt of Remax Country and MoveMeMark.com. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and make sure you like us on Facebook so you don't miss out. Now let's talk about this house. You know, if you're thinking about selling your home, the last thing you want is a river of blood in your basement. But that's exactly what happened to one couple from Iowa. There's a guy named Nick Listina from Bagley, Iowa. He went down into his basement one day and found 5 inches of blood on his basement floor. Now, let me ask you something. You may have seen a flood in a basement. Maybe you've got a home that got some water in the basement, or maybe currently gets water in the basement. What would you do if you saw 5 inches of blood on your basement floor? You'd probably be a little bit freaked out, as I know I would be. Now, you're probably asking, where did this 5 inches of blood come from? Well, right next door to Nick's house was a place called Doll's Meat Locker. And this was, I suppose for all intents and purposes, a slaughterhouse. And what they would do is they would take all the hog and cattle remains and dump them down the floor drain. Now, the way it got into Nick's house is that Nick's property and the animal meat locker, they shared a main drain that went out to the street. That got backed up, and then when they started dumping the blood down, it wound up in Nick's basement. Thus, you get 5 inches of animal blood and fat and all these other crazy things. Well, unfortunately, Nick and his family couldn't stay in the house. They had to leave because it was a biohazard. You really shouldn't be living in a house with 5 inches of animal blood covering your basement floor. Luckily, Doll's Meat Locker was able to go through their insurance and they were able to get everything cleaned up. I think by the time you're watching this, Nick and his family should be back in their home. But this really, there's a few lessons here. One is you want to make sure your drains are always cleaned. You know, they have companies that will come out and clean your drains for a reason. Sometimes we dump things down our drains that maybe we shouldn't. That causes our drains to get clogged and that causes backups. Now, hopefully you never have a backup as serious as 5 inches of animal blood, but you want to make sure that nothing gets backed up into your home. The other thing is, listen, you want to make sure before you get your home ready to sell that you're going through making sure everything works well. So if you do see you have a drain that's a little plugged up, you want to take care of that ahead of time. But anyway, I wish Nick and his family the best as they move back to their home and then get their home ready to sell. Nick, listen, if you need help selling your home, let me know. I can help you out there. Anyway, listen, if you're thinking about selling your home, the best thing you can do, go to my website. That's www.MoveMeMark.com. There you can find lots of great information, tips and tricks, and everything you could use to make your next move a huge success. Thanks for watching. Here's last week's episode in case you missed it, and one that YouTube thinks you should watch. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll see you next week for more Monday Mornings with Mark. You have a great week.